Hi everyone, it's Carolyn here with Cello Discovery, and I'm going to weigh in on the great debate between tapes or no tapes. I just wanted to give you my thoughts on this, and maybe it'll help you make a decision whether or not you want to use tapes when you're learning how to play the cello or not use tapes. Okay, so here is the pros and cons for using tapes. There are a couple ways you can do this. A lot of times teachers will start their students with tapes, and they'll put a tape over where the first finger goes. They're going to put a tape where the third finger goes, and they're going to put a tape where the fourth finger goes. Now those are typically the three that you're going to see when beginners first start to play the cello. The reason we want to use tapes is since we are a fretless instrument, meaning we don't have the little frets like a guitar has to show you where the half steps and whole steps are on the instrument, you don't have any visual. It's just a black slate, and you have to figure out where to put your fingers. So as you're first learning how to play, I do think it's good to have a little bit of a visual to know if your hand is in the right place. Now the problem with this is so many people when they first start do this, especially adults, because we have a harder time seeing up close, and so we tend to pull the instrument far away. Now when you pull the instrument far away, it changes all the angles of the cello in relationship to your arm and your wrist and your fingers. So it's not a good habit to get in. So if you're going to use tapes, you just want to quickly peek down with your peripheral vision or do a quick look and then get your eyes back forward so that you don't pull the instrument away in order to see the tapes. That's the biggest problem people have. Now when you're training your ear, those tapes are going to help you learn where that note is supposed to be. If you're not sure if you're on the tape or not, if it's in tune or not, if you have a tape, you can quickly look and see that your finger is too far forward and you need to bring it back. So that's how you're going to train your ear, is with a visual. Your eyes are going to help your ears learn. Now some folks just don't want to put it on there because it's one of those, red flags. Hey, I'm a beginner, look at my tapes. So there's a couple ways to go about this. You don't have to use tapes, like certainly not, flaming red tapes. You can use different colored tapes, get some black electrical tape, something that's not so screaming, hey, I'm a beginner. So you can use that. The other option, if you can see right here, I have a little green dot. You can use, you can find those little dots at any kind of a office supply store, and you can simply put a little dot over where maybe this finger is and where this finger is. You don't need them over each string, just one quick one to remind yourself where that hand goes as you're learning that stretch, where your finger is going to be over that note. Another option, if you just don't want to have any tapes there at all, is to use a pencil. You can get your hand in the right spot, check your tuning with your tuner or open string, and just simply draw a little line where that finger goes. Most people can't see that at all. If you glance down, you can see the pencil marking. And of course, it comes off as easy as that. So it's another way to guide your hand into the right location. I am a teacher who thinks that putting a couple of guide tapes is really necessary in the early days. Certainly first finger and fourth finger. I don't think you need more than that. There's a lot of, on the Amazon, you can find these tapes that go all the way up the fingerboard, and they're everywhere, and there's lots of colors. In my opinion, that's really confusing for a new person to see all those tapes, lines all the way down. It's one big sticker that you put on the instrument. I would avoid that. Just simply stick to three. You're going to learn that first position first, and then later on you can add maybe one more tape as you need it. But at that point your ear is going to start to get more refined, and you're going to be able to hear those intervals better, know where your fingers should be, and ideally learn how to tune without the tapes, because there's going to come that point, obviously, where you have to take the tapes off. And that's when you've learned the finger spacing and your brain has really centered around where that pitch is in relationship to the other notes. And if you're learning on your own and you don't have a teacher to help you, I think it's really important that you video yourself often. Use your phone and just take a little video of you playing, and take a look at how many times you're looking at your hand. Are you pulling your instrument away when you're looking at your tapes? So if you find that you're doing that, the more often that you can be made aware of that by videoing yourself, the more likely you are to stop pulling the instrument away. So if you don't have a teacher, video yourself so you can count how many times you pulled the instrument aside to look at it. And then just practice using your peripheral vision and taking quick glances and look back. So once you've got that and your ears adjusted to it, take the tapes off, or maybe take all the tapes off except for maybe one if you're having trouble getting the fourth finger in place or the first finger in place. just leave one on there, and then eventually, you know, take the training wheels completely off, and I think you'll find that you can adjust pretty quickly once your hand has learned the spacing. So that's my take on using tapes or not tapes. I've got lots more information on how you put tapes on. If you go to cellodiscovery.com, it's a very comprehensive course for beginning cellists.